So, good afternoon. I'm pleased to introduce you to our second team presenting Developing Effective Organizations, and their client is Warm Windows.
Hi guys, we are Team Alpha. I'm Kun. I'm in charge of the poster designing and the evaluation part. And that is Casey. Casey is in charge of the introduction and methodology part. That is Iran. Iran is in charge of the intervention plan and the recommendation part. That is Taros, our single man. He is in charge of the interview part and defining the issues. So let's begin our presentation. Cassie, your part.
So I'm introducing the Warm Window company, which is established in 2005. It is a professional company which are producing and distributing the UPVC windows. The UPVC windows is the key product which is superior to PVC. It has the better function to keep warming indoors and corrosion resistance. The company service area in produce, install and repair service window for customers. And currently there are 20 employees working in the company. And the company is in hierarchy structure, which is top-down management. In the top management, operation management development, and production development. And the methodology we using, the team has gathered the data through the different channels. And we have interviewed with the operations coordinator, Mr. Julia Chile, and we have on-site visit, and we also use the system theory to examine and solve the situation of the company, which using the people express story, organization communication model, and stakeholder theory approach. To expand the relationship between the key elements. It helps practitioners see the company situation in different views and create the effective measure to improve the teamwork and the job performance better. In addition, we apply the relevant knowledge that learned from the Dr. Peter Melo's class. And now we turn to the Taras to introduce the issues.
Okay, thank you, Katie. Hello, everyone, dear professor, dear guests, dear fellows. I'm glad to see you here in our place, in Untitled Polytechnic Open International Campus. In the place where inspirations are born. So my name is Taras, and I represent study group Alpha. So my part of presentation about environment company and identifying issues. But before I start my part, I would like to appreciate Marika Tripisheva for photo and video support. Thank you, Marika. So let's get started. My part is about environment. So as we all know, our world doesn't stay on one place, and everything around us is changing. In this case, Warm Windows faced external changes, which followed by changes inside the company. We're talking about changes in requirements H1 compliance. This is New Zealand build code. The part about energy efficiency and new houses. So this amendment allows company. This amendment requires builders to install Windows double glazing. So this fact make production of Warm Windows more competitive and more attractive for customers because it reduces price gap between UPVC windows and aluminum windows. The second point is that for company strategy is a point that boom of building in New Zealand. According to statistics of New Zealand, there were 3,000 new house consents in this August, And this trend demonstrates a positive dynamic. That's why owners made decision to renovate their factory. In order to automatize all business process, they purchased machinery. We're talking about CNC machinery. That means computer numerical control. This purchase allows company to reduce cost of one unit, to increase capacity and decrease human risk of human mistake. At the same time, company underwent by team replacement. And at this moment we can see a mixed team which consists from Russians and New Zealanders. So there are some political groups. But the good point of this situation is that political map of company looks same as organizational structure. We can see this diagram. So this is organizational structure and this is political map. There are probably 1, 2, 3, 4 political unions. So it says us that inside organizations there are only business relations, no strong confrontation between groups. So after I conducted research and interview, our group identified the main issue of current situation. And this issue, the lack of intergroup communication, which expressed in gap in languages and cultures between key persons and key groups. A lack of consultation with stakeholders in key decisions, underutilization of current capacity, and each stakeholder has own, that's important, undiscussed view on success and performance of organization. So after this main issue, I can give stage for my teammate, Queen. Please, you're welcome, Queen. Your turn.
Thank you, Taras. That's my part. In the evaluation section, we will evaluate the effectiveness of OD intervention for the intergroup communication with the one window company. The main objective is to analyze whether the intergroup communication problems can be solved through our method that set up, and whether the language barriers can reduced through our method. The first one is the staff selection. Based on the study finished by Parkinson and Murray in 2006, they said the staff selection is the most important thing for the organization performance. For this company, the biggest problem is the language barriers. That means their engineers came from overseas that can running the machines, but the office staffs and the install staffs are English speaker. To some extent, they can't understand each other well all the times. So that is the gap. That will lead to the dissatisfaction of customers, cause the intergroup communication problems. For these problems, they can hire the local staff, then send them to Europe for training, but it is expensive for a company. But if they don't do this, the local staff don't know the machine, so it is better for them to hiring the overseas staff that can speak English well. although it will take a long time than just hiring an engineer that can run the machine. Another method is provide an English course for non-engineers, so the new staffs can be trained by the usual engineers. That is the first part. The second part is according to the study written by Steve and company in 1994. They stated that effective intergroup communication has a positive effect on the team process and the results. That means the staff training is plays a key role in company results, especially the pre-job training. Combined with the situations of this company, the pre-job training can make the overseas engineers know the cultures of New Zealand, especially the Maori cultures and the multiple cultures in New Zealand, and also provide an opportunity to let them familiar with each other, let the office staff, the install staff, and engineers familiar with each other, which will reduce the communication gap in the work. And will lead to the increase the sales. When the sales increase, the reputation increased. When the reputation increased, the revenue increased. So that can benefit this company. The third one is the rotation system. I know lots of New Zealand company don't use the rotation company, but in the international, lots of big company use the rotation system. Because the rotation system means different workers work in different positions. For example, when the engineer come to this company, they can work in the sales department. Also, the sales staff can work in the production apartment, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 weeks. The longest is 3 weeks. Maybe they can do the detailed things, but they can understand the whole process of this company. The sales can know the production process, and the production staff can know the sales process. So when a customer give an order to the sales can arrange the production time and the price, and give a suitable price to the customer that will satisfaction the customers. That have direct effect to this company. That is the evaluation part. Next is our the solution part and the recommendation part.
Okay. As seen earlier on, the identified issue is intergroup communication. It's very important for any organization or company to make sure that communication is clearly done. For organizations that do not have a clear communication system set up, we found that there is a lot of misinterpretation of messages delivered or sent out to different departments or team members. So in one Windows, it's very important to ensure that the communication is effectively managed, and this will be very useful, and it will help to solve the issue of intergroup communication. So I went ahead to use a model. I'm sure it's quite distant from you. If you could come closer, we could just have a look at this one. Thank you. So this is the model for organizational communication. This is to make sure that from the information source, the message is sent out, and then once it's sent out, there's what we call the encoder. That is what the message is transmitted in either written, verbal, and then it goes into a channel. And when it reaches the channel, there is a possibility that the message could be distorted. So it's very important to manage the channel, and then it goes into the receiver. The channel can be through email or electronic or in different ways. So when it goes to the receiver, it's important that the receiver has to get the message and in different ways has to find another channel to make sure the response or the feedback is given and so it comes back to the company. So it's very important to make sure that there is this organizational model of organization that is running in the company that will help to make sure that everybody takes part. So another theory that I went on to look at is the stakeholder theory approach, whereby a company has to involve the stakeholders in its decision making so that they are not left out. For example, when we look at the warm windows, we have different groups of people in departments, sales department, engineering department, production department. So you have to not only look at the fact that you want the end factor, which is the profit. You need to involve the stakeholders in the smooth running of the daily activities. That's in decision making. When you look at the sales and the engineering, if there is a proper understanding of what is going on, that means there will be smooth running of activities in the organization. So it will help reduce conflict, misunderstanding, and make work easier and more comfortable. The environment will be very conducive for working. So that would be a good thing. Yes, and then I also looked at the ODQ. This really helps to look at how issues can be handled. Like there will be you can diagnose a problem. After then, you can choose when you identify the problem, choose a group that is mainly how does it affect the group. So you focus the attention, and then at the later stage you have to choose a mode of intervention to make sure that you actually solve the problem. So at the end, we came up with recommendations. So you can have a seat. Thank you. We came up with recommendations.
Thank you. Hello.
Just to hold on, we came up with recommendations that will help to help solve the problem identified. So the first one was to reset the recruit objective when recruiting. It's important to make sure that the candidate knows the language that is used in the organization. This can help speed up work process and improve on the output, hence increasing on the company revenues. And then she talks about setting up a rotation system. This will help to change the communication situation. The existence of high levels of disagreements contribute to ineffective communication, and therefore there's need to check on the level of disagreement and agreement. That's according to Down 2000. So the rotation system can help them understand all the process of this company. You get ideas from every department, so it's not necessary that you have to know everything that happens, but you should have an idea of what happens in every department. That is quite beneficial. Yes, I'll invite Taras to add some more recommendations.
Hi again. So I'm proud to finish our presentation and make some overview of our recommendations. So our team recommends the company to consider opportunity for applying team building techniques inside the company. Also provide language courses inside the company to reduce cultural and language gap between workers. And third recommendation is to establish weekly meeting between leaders of political groups. I mean, key persons and key groups. It will be better if they have opportunity to discuss day-to-day programs and share their views on performance and success of company. So this is our finished recommendation, and we believe that Warm Windows go into success. So let us demonstrate short video about CNC machinery, yes, and about Warm Windows. Thank you, Marika. So thank you, our presentation finished, and now time for questions and feedback. If you have any questions, please ask, we will be glad to answer. Okay. I see you have question. JT, what question?
Yeah.
Sure. So,
Our names, my name is Taras, Irene, Green, and Katie.
Glenn and Katie. Okay, great, thank you. So, I guess I wanted to go in a bit more about the solutions. So, you had the two different theories that you offered. Could you just explain to me again the difference between the first solution that you offered and the second solution?
The first solution is to reset the request objective. That is, I could say, when it comes to hiring, right, it could be done by an external agency, or it could be done by the company itself. So what we're trying to say here that it's important to make sure that an element of language, like the person to be hired should possess or should know, should speak a certain language that is used in the organization. That will help promote understanding. And when the candidate is hired into the company, they already have the skill of the language, so it's easier to communicate within the organization.
And so, my question about that then is that with this particular organization, the owners are not Kiwis, the owners are also Russian speaking themselves, and so it means that this recruitment actually requires an understanding of the two languages. So just sort of based on these theories, is there a recommendation for when that's the case, sort of like if the pool that's available for recruitment is quite small, because obviously having an understanding of both languages is difficult to find, is there sort of an alternative?
Okay. If I look at the
sorry to interrupt, just because you did mention two different ones, so I'm looking at the one that came up to.
The first one is-
This one here, yeah.
it's mainly
So the
the
difference between the two of them.
okay. The first one is mainly the spread out on how communication runs in an organization, how the message is dispatched, how it gets encoded, how it could be how it could be interpreted,
Right.
and then how it could be received and how feedback is given back, how the receiver gives feedback. So the first one is mainly displaying the importance of communication in the organization, and then the second one, the stakeholder theory, is mainly talking of how it's important to not only look at the end product of what the organization wants, but also consider everyone involved in and out of the company.
Yeah, I can add. Okay, this one theory breaks down the communication from different parts and explain how each part can affect on all communication process. Probably it's a good way to understand in which stage where we can find some troubles and we can fix it or repair or change. And another theory is just a theory that describes involving all parts, that organizations not only organization for owner and top management, because organizations also possess probably not directly but another stakeholders and like workers, like managers, customers, and also competitors. So this theory allows to understand all stakeholders around company, which can affect on performance of company. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
I will dig into that question a bit more, but I think
Okay, yeah. Any questions from over here?
Yeah, sure. Love your presentation, it was really good and very concise. So I just have one single question. So it was something about what Wayne said, job rotation. Yeah. So you said about sales department and production department intervening with each other, changing their roles.
Relations itself.
Yeah. So just to be clear, so for the production engineers and so
Your question about the organizational structure and rotations between departments.
yeah. So if the employees are to switch their roles, so
I'm sorry. Can I answer?
Okay.
Can I answer? Thank you. So I guess probably this approach not sustainable for this type of organization because it is good for rotation inside departments. So it's probably good to rotate workers between these sub-departments, subdivisions, between sales, probably not accounting, but it's impossible to rotate people operational department and production department. Yes.
yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Because there are certifications involved and sales basically.
But as person who works for this company, I see that this question from inside. And for my personal opinion, it will be well for me if I'm like worker from back factory, CNC machinery. If I will have opportunity to understand how work assemble factory, it will be better for me to understand all process of this department. I can see all model of production department. For me, it will be better. I guess this is exactly rotation in this case. So this is my main responsibility in this department, but also I would like and it would be better for my performance to understand what do the guys from this factory. Thank you.
You produced a closed loop diagram there. You put it up here, but I didn't quite get an interpretation of how it works. Can you quickly flip up the closed loop diagram and have someone talk through it? Is it the same one?
What diagram? No.
The other one, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Is it the same?
Probably different definition, but same is the same. So for example, this model describes displays previous period the company works before changes. Okay. So this model explains us that the owner's organization has some revenue. This revenue goes to sub-performance in a way like motivation, bonuses, wages, and something else. Good sub-performance produce quality and capacity, and this goes to sales. So sales do revenue. But after changes, our revenue from previous period go to new machinery, new quality, new capacity, according to CNC machines. So purchase of new equipment. So we increase capacity of organization, of business performance. We increase the dynamic. But they again, at this moment, in sub-performance. So there are a lack of communication inside the organization, and of course a lack of executive team. So this is delay, this gap, which affect all business performance. So the best way to solve as soon as possible this point, and after that we will have good business performance in the whole company.
When we return to the inner virtuous loop. Right. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Okay. We'll wrap that up and give some feedback now. Rika, would you like to throw the first apple? Go on. What did you like about the presentation?
Please tell something about photos and videos.
It was good, clear, step by step. Also, most of the questions you covered with us.
Thank you.
Don't be but I'm sorry, but when you're doing will you speak face to face to the client? Something I can't see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I get.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I'm sorry, this presentation for all guests, I'm sorry.
All right. Okay. Right.
I'll give some feedback.
Yes, do that.
And so, yeah, I really like the presentation. It was very clear. Obviously, because I'm coming from the organisation, I'm being a bit more critical because I'm also seeing about how it's applying to the real experience of the business. And so I can see that from the research and from the interview you've done, you've come back and you've got a clear understanding of what you are suggesting and what you've developed. And so in terms of all of that, I think you've all done a really great job. And so that's why I was just struggling with the questions a bit, just because the real situation is not exactly the same as the case study that you've done. But in saying that, that's what you guys have never under the company or anything. But based on that, I think it's very useful. Obviously, the size of our organisation means that some of these theoretical things that you suggested might not work in our case exactly. But certainly, I can understand where all of this comes from. And so, yeah, I think you've done a great job. So thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you for that feedback. Good. Going forward now, there's quite a few different elements. You've used a lot of different models in here. I can see process flow diagrams, communication models, and so on and so on. Just ensure that these are well integrated around the issue that you are addressing. Clarify, make sure that your documentation, your understanding of the company does match what the client sees, although you might be seeing something importantly different. Part of OD is that you will see different things, so ensure that you align those different perspectives in your final report. If you haven't visited the company, then please take the opportunity to visit and see the physical and observe. Don't rely on Paris telling you what's going on. You need to go and see yourself. And great to see your use of academic research and other frameworks to understand and interpret the phenomena that you see. There's a point raised here. Okay, but does it apply in our case? well, I think after you've visited the factory and done some observation, then you'd be in a better position to say, yeah, this will apply, we have to adjust this to the practicalities of this challenging workplace, but on the other hand, typical of many workplaces in New Zealand, increasingly, that might be founded by Russians or Germans or Polynesians or Maori or whatever. There's going to be at least 2 languages, probably 3, maybe even 4 languages that operate within the workplace. And so you're working on a very important and exciting problem to help the company turn that challenge into an opportunity for strength. Because the clients, the customers, also have these different languages. We're not all speaking English or Maori anymore. That's potential customers. Any other points or comments and anybody else wants to make? I do notice that closed loop diagram is different than that one over there. So resolve that, come up with one view. Yeah. And talk to the other team as well, because they really seem to have mastered the closed loop diagramming stuff. Okay. Give them a hand. Thanks indeed.